Hello, everyone. I am Betsy Sweet. I am your host for the Maine Challenge, and I am so happy that you are with us. You are seeing 4 women who are coming back on a high from being in DC, and I'm going to introduce you to them in just a minute. But first, I want to take care of a few housekeeping items. Number 1 is if you need captioning for this event, this is being live captioned, and so, but you have to click the button on your Zoom. So if you need captioning or want to see the captioning, please just go ahead and click it on your screen in the Zoom, because it is being closed captioned as we speak. The second thing is we are live on social media, so we are on Facebook Live, but those of you who are here with us on Zoom are going to get to participate, which we are so excited about. On Facebook, if you want to ask a question, you can just type it into the questions, and we've got folks monitoring both of the Facebook pages, or all the Facebook pages where this is being streamed. You as a participant right now, you are muted and your video is off if you are on Zoom. That is going to happen until just while we talk for a minute, and then at the end, a little bit further into the show, we will open it up and we will show your photos, and we would love to see your faces, and we will unmute you so that you can participate in a conversation and ask us questions. And we are very excited. And in the meantime, if you have anything you want to say or anything you want to comment on, you can certainly put it in the chat. And we will be paying attention to the chat as well. So I am so grateful to all of you who have joined to join us for this time, this historic moment. This is an incredibly historic moment, and we are thrilled. We were so thrilled to have been here. So let me just introduce my guests and my friends. I am so happy to have them as both. Marie Follayttar, who is with Mainers for Accountable Leadership, and Linda Homer from from Southwest Harbor on MDI. She is an incredible advocate. She is also one of the chief people in the Maine Poor People's Campaign. And then Representative Charlotte Warren, who happens to be my representative and a good friend, as are all these women. So we just returned from, we were 3 days in Washington, D.C., where this historic event was happening. So the first African-American woman, first Black woman, has been nominated by President Biden. And on Monday morning at 11 o'clock, they started the hearings, the nomination hearings for Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. So it was an extraordinary thing. We want to share our insights. But first, I want to turn it over to Marie, because it was really through Mainers for Accountable Leadership and the Center for Popular Democracy that we got this incredible opportunity. So Marie, welcome to the show, and welcome to Charlotte and Linda as well. And if you just want to kick us off by telling us a little bit about MFAL and about why Center for Popular Democracy and you folks decided to do this.
Thanks, Bets, and just a special thank you for putting the closed captioning in this show. That sort of respect to the disability community is beautiful. And so I'm the director of Mainers for Accountable Leadership. We were founded in 2016, and we've grown to about 17,000 Mainers who have been really active since 2017 around Supreme Court nominations, most notably to try to stop the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. And we've partnered with the Center for Popular Democracy since 2017. The Center for Popular Democracy has affiliates and partners all across the country, and really leads with bold action and brings people together into DC to lobby, to rally, to celebrate. And we were given the opportunity to become a supporting partner of a rally on Monday in celebration of Judge Jackson. And that is such a different framework, that we are centering joy, and that the partnerships of this rally were centered and led by Black women, and that white allies were stepping back. And the hope of what that means for the movement and the changes that we need to make in Maine to remake our nonprofit structures so that white women like me begin to step back. And on Tuesday, we were also given the opportunity to partner with affiliates of Center for Popular Democracy, for a a dance party. And unfortunately, we missed dancing in the streets and ended up going and meeting with Senator King. But stay tuned. There's a court's matter to Maine. And fingers crossed, if this confirmation goes through and we have the first Black woman for the most qualified nominee in the history of the Supreme Court confirmed, there will be a celebration in Maine that everyone is invited to. And so I was really just excited to be able to invite this incredibly fierce, wise advocates from such a variety of perspectives, as well as a variety of locations around the state of the Maine. So.
Thank you, Marie. And I also just want to say that we may be joined at some point by Representative Rachel Talbot Ross, who was also there with us. She is in the middle of negotiating the state budget and some other things, so she's not here, but she was also part of our team, and it was awesome. So as Marie said, there was this incredible rally on Monday, and on Tuesday we had this extraordinary opportunity to not only meet with Senator King, but to then go and sit in the hearing and to actually be in the room as they were doing it. And then Wednesday, and there was also another rally, and then Wednesday we got a chance to meet with the legal counsel for Senator Collins. And so we really have a breadth of experience, and we can tell you more about that if you want the details. But I want to turn it over. So we've been home about 24 hours, not even 24 hours, I don't think yet. And it was such a full, amazing celebration and historic moment. So I want to ask Charlotte first, and then you, Linda. So it's been a few minutes since we've been back. What sticks with you? What is the thing that stood out for you, that stands out for you as we reflect back on this amazing experience? Charlotte?
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you for having us on today to talk about this amazing experience. I think what I've thought about the most is the rally that we attended on Monday morning, and to just have hour after hour of amazing speeches by Black women of all ages, of all experiences from all across this country, share what this nomination means to them, means to their families and their daughters and their aunties and their mothers, and to our country, and just to share their feelings and their support for this amazing, as Marie said, absolutely most qualified nominee. That has stuck with me. So many wise words and such a expression of joy. And the one that keeps coming back is a particular reverend who spoke. And one of the things she said was, as we are here and we are expressing our joy, and I am a joyful person, but please don't mistake my joy as an inability to fight. And that has just stayed with me, because that is so important for us to do in all of our work, for each other and for ourselves, and that those two things can exist in the same sphere is really important to remember.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And Linda, how about for you? What's sticking with you now?
I'm thinking of the rally too, because I went to DC super excited about this historic moment, and I thought I got it. I thought I got it, and I didn't. I didn't get it. I did not understand the deep, deep importance of this to these women and to these children. And I was just surrounded by that hope and excitement. And it brought tears to my eyes multiple times. I just couldn't believe that I was there and being part of it and seeing it. The children were just amazing, so articulate, but so honest, that realness from them about why this is important to them was amazing. And I was kind of stuck with her friend, Naja Rutledge, who went to school with her, who said, I love this quote. She said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And she said, Ketanji Brown Jackson is fair, she is impartial, and she is ready. And I just love that because you know what? We're all ready. We are ready, and it's time. We're going to change things, and this is such an exciting moment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think that actually being in the hearing was the most, for me, it was like this dystopian moment because on the one hand, it was so exciting to be there, and we heard Senator Blumenthal, really talk about the importance of this moment, and then we heard Senator Josh Hawley, who we luckily did not hear too much of Senator Cruz, but throwing out the racial tropes and watching this woman who was so dignified and so brilliant and so as they said, many people said in the rally, overqualified. So that was an extraordinary moment, but an experience. But I do want to go back to something you said, Linda, about the young people. Like, to me, again, we understand as allies, like, this is so important, but the critical importance and impression on the young people for having a seat at the table, not being represented at the table by some great ally, but actually having a seat at the table. And I think we have a little clip. There was an 11-year-old girl who talked about, who spoke at the rally and who talked about it. And I don't know if this is in the clip, but she said, to have someone whose name is hard to pronounce like mine and whose hair has texture like mine. And, and I mean, she was just, it was like, it made me weep because it was just like, this is so and I'm not sure that we, as you said, that we can understand it. So Courtney, could you roll that tape if it's easy?
For the past 2 years, my mother, Kimberly Tignor, along with 3 co-founders, Sabria Williams, April Rain, and Brandy Colander, have been leading an organization called She Will Rise that has been working to get Black women nominated to the Supreme Court. And I'm very proud and excited to see their hard work pay off. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson being the first Black woman nominated and ultimately confirmed to the Supreme Court is something that inspires me, and I'm sure inspires a lot of girls and women across the United States. Lastly, I want to come here and let Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson know that we stand with her, and when she rises, we all rise. Thank you, and have a good day.
Awesome. Yeah, so that was a moment for sure. And then, so I think that just, it still brings tears to our eyes. And so I think, so anything else that, was there anything that was surprising to any of you? Anything that, besides that moment? And was there things that were disturbing? Go ahead, Charlotte.
I think we got a preview of some talking points that we're going to see in the upcoming election as we work to reelect our president. I think that a lot of the talking points about her being soft on crime, et cetera, that was just preparing the American people for what they're going to be saying as a backlash. It's a backlash to the reckoning that's happening in our country, right? A lot of people haven't been, paying attention, not by choice, but they're raising their children, they're working their jobs, they're packing the lunches, right? And when George Floyd was murdered, I think a lot of Americans woke up and said, no, I don't want my taxpayers paying for a system that works this way. And so we're starting to create change. And a lot of their talking points were backlash to that change. And they are going to be stoking fear. And that, I want us to be prepared for that. I want us to remember why we're creating these changes. And so the racial tropes around criminal justice issues, that was very disturbing to me.
Yeah. How about you, Linda or Marie?
Okay. I was just horrified by the Republicans and their line of questioning. I was simply horrified that is where we are today in 2022. This is not only you know, a Black woman to go after that way. She is highly, highly qualified, way more qualified than people we have recently seen that have been nominated. And this is the logical next step for her. So it just, I found that really, really difficult. But I want to read you another quote I saw today that I thought was super important. It said, instead of simply applauding Ketanji Brown Jackson's brilliance and composure while facing contemptibly biased and racist questioning, more white people need to stand up and help get racism out of our legislative bodies so that the next Judge Ketanji doesn't have to endure this.
Mm-hmm. That's really true. Marie?
I think what comes up for me is how do we show up in the spaces in Maine when our Black or Indigenous and Brown women of color elected to office face similar scrutiny, face the same political violence? Do we create systems of support? Do we extract labor? Do we merely elect to celebrate a first, or are we there to support every step of the way? And what we saw in DC was deep community built and building, like across the nation, with a message that we are there for you. But what does that mean actualized? What does that mean in our organizations? And what does it mean in our elected officials who are silent in this moment and who are silent as their colleagues rage with racism? And as we face an election where racism will be driven up and down the state, and how are we as allies willing to respond?
I think that that's really true. In our meeting with with the legal counsel for Collins, Representative Rachel Talbot Ross said something which I thought was so important. And this was just after Ted Cruz had done his thing with the children's book and, you know, pointing to critical race theory and, you know, and the other senator brought it up, you know, early, Marjorie, whatever, I can't remember his last name. But anyway, you know, it was brought up. So I think Charlotte's right. We are seeing, you know, what we saw was the test balloons of what's going to happen in the elections coming up. But Rachel said something that I thought was so important, which was for Senator Collins, not just to vote for Ketanji Brown Jackson, which she already has done twice, by the way. And so we are fully anticipating her support this time around as well. And although she doesn't want to make any commitment till she gets through the hearing, which makes sense. But she said, I don't want Rachel, this is Rachel speaking, I don't want my senator to just vote for her. I want my senator to stand up and call out the racial tropes that these and the dog whistles that that they are sending to people all around this country, and to my people back in Maine, right? Saying this is okay, and this is okay for school boards, and with the book banning that's happening, and you know all of that. I want leadership like that. I want a Margaret Chase Smith moment like that. I want, you know, I not just want. I expect that, and so that was it was so powerful to hear her speak of it. You know, how it impacted her, but also sort of raising the bar of what we can expect from our elected officials, you know, and what we expect from regardless of party. You know, this is about humanity. And so to counteract, or not counteract, to contrast what we saw from the hope from that young woman, not just that woman, from all the women, and then to see, you know, what happened in the hearing room was quite something. Okay, so we are now going to open it up to you. We want to hear your questions. And again, you can put them in the chat. We are going to unmute you and we are going to video block you. Is that a word? We are going to because we'd love to see your beautiful faces. So we would love to see everything, all of you on the screen, which we are so excited, and you get to see each other. And so if you are on and are not running your video, please turn your please turn your screen on so we can see you. And if you have any questions, hey, so many friends, it's awesome. And if you have questions or comments or would like to say anything, just, you can use the raise your hand function. You can wait with us. You can put it in the chat because we would love to hear your questions. Anybody have a thought or thoughts? If anybody's been watching or seeing, I will say one of the other things. All right, great, Bill. Hang on 1 second. One of the other things, if you haven't watched it, go watch Cory Booker's questioning of her. It will make you weep and it will make you inspired. So, Bill, yeah, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, you just went where I was going to. I don't often admit it, but I came from New Jersey 40 years ago. I haven't been so proud of New Jersey with Cory Booker, Senator Booker's comments, and I just thought it was phenomenal. And I just wonder, he's too good for the Senate, really. He really is too good for the Senate.
Yeah, he was. He was amazing, and of course, we all have like a man crush on him because he's so amazing. And actually, one of the things that was great was when we were sitting in the hearing room. Most of the senators enter from the back, from side doors. But for some reason, he walked in through the back door where the rest of us have walked through. And and I was sitting on the corner. He walked right by me. Of course, you just feel his presence when he walks in the room. And I turned to smile at him. And I, met him before, but we locked eyes for a minute. And I just smiled and I said, "Hi, Senator Booker, Betsy Sweet from Maine." And he was his. So for me, that was like a highlight, just a personal highlight, because I got the look of Cory Booker right in the eye. So that was awesome. So yes, Pat, please.
Yes. Well, I have a channel that I can watch things streamed in the whole. So I watched as much of the hearing as I was able, if I wasn't on another Zoom call. And what I couldn't see, because they have a side-by-side, so you had the speaker and you had Ketanji, so you got the two perspectives. What I couldn't see was the whole room. What was the sense of the room?
Let me let one of you answer, Charlotte or Linda, Marie.
Well, I think I'll answer. Thank you. Great question. And there was certainly no talking. Everybody was, and the room was full. And it wasn't one of those rooms where a lot of people were chatting, right? Everybody was sort of leaning forward and just really listening. What was wonderful to see, I thought, was the groups of students, or I'm assuming they're students, but, young people that would sort of come in groups and be there to experience that. And I really enjoyed that. And like Betsy said, I found myself sort of like looking to see, what senators are here and, where are they? It was something you could feel. It was something you could feel. Everybody sort of seemed to feel how big this moment was. And we were just so thankful to Senator King, and I see Edie Smith here. So I just need to say thank you for, getting us those passes so that we could attend.
And if I might add one thing,
sure.
There are two rows, and there, of course, they're set up with the desks with the reporters and their laptops, and their Twitter feeds are going, and they're rapidly responding, and the photographers are on the ground, and there's that energy. And at the same time, we're observing Senator Hawley, who is, of course, attacking our candidate, but is doing so with brilliance and skill, and not to be underestimated. So watching without that reaction, watching to observe how he is believed, was a very haunting experience, and just as haunting as watching to be moved by those asking the powerful questions that lift up the beauty of Judge Jackson.
Yeah. So somebody asked what our meeting was like with Senator King, and it was extraordinary. And Linda, I'm going to ask, I know Linda has done lots of meetings with senators, and we rarely go, I don't know if this is really true, Linda, but we rarely go in favor of somebody. We often go to oppose somebody. So if you want to share your impressions of our meeting with Senator King and what he thought. He had just come from the hearing room when we met with him.
Yeah, he definitely had some ideas that he told us. First of all, I'm just so grateful to him and the staff. And I'm grateful for the fact that every time we have a concern and want to meet with him, it's met. And they say, okay, when, how? And I think that is so important with our senators. But he understood how important this event was. He said it was hard for him to kind of keep his mouth shut because he was like, oh, this senator should have said this, should have taken this a little more, or I know exactly where that came from in the Constitution. And they had every right to say that. But he was excited about it. And again, like you say, it was so nice to be there doing something positive and not saying, we really need you to do this. We really need you to vote for her and try to push him. He's like, she's qualified. This is awesome. And I just loved that. It was such a nice moment in our couple of days, and you could kind of let it all down and just relax and, be Mainers. We got to talk about Maine. We got to talk about the nation. It was great. I had a wonderful time.
Yeah. So let me just say that if you will all hang on, I'm going to get us out of this official show, but we will stay on for a little bit and answer your questions, but for time purposes for the Maine Challenge. And if you are not a subscriber to Maine Challenge on YouTube, we have our own YouTube channel, and every other week we have a 30-minute show. And then in the intervening weeks, I do a sound off in which I give you some information about what we're thinking about or what I'm thinking about and what's happening. So those of you who have been watching on Maine Challenge, thank you so much for joining us on this great live show. We will continue live on Facebook now. But if you're watching on TV later, thank you so much for being with us. We are so happy to share this historic moment. And it is an honor to be able to share this with you and to be here. Our job is twofold. One is to lift up the voices that need to be heard, lift up the voices that are inspiring, that bring us joy, doing hard things, and also to point to the things that need our love, that need our work, that need our attention. And that is what we do almost every week here in Maine Challenge. And so if you can help us, if you can tell your friends, watch us, and you can watch it. We always premiere a show on Thursday at 5, but you can watch it anytime on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page. And if you have any interest in donating, we run on donations. That's what we do. I think Courtney just threw it in the chat. And so if you can help us with that, that's awesome. But really, your support, and so that we can continue to have conversations like this, call out the hard stuff, lift up the great stuff, and inspire us all to keep going. So you all do that for us every single day. We love you. We are so grateful for you for joining us. Again, Marie, Charlotte, and Linda, it was an honor to spend this time with you at this historic moment. And we will all do what we need to do to make sure that Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson becomes Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. And she, again, as the young woman said in her speech, I am so grateful and so excited that you will be the first, and I promise you, you will not be the last.